Hey everybody, we're back at long last. I've been all over the place, but how could I neglect Ace Attorney Chronicles? Especially when Jellopocalypse just finished his bit that ended right when we ended last time, so perfect. Yeah, that's right. I watched him too. I timed it perfectly. All according to Cake. Oh yeah, that's right. The Mets are playing. Which means I guess I shouldn't expect many viewers. Well, in case you weren't watching Jellopocalypse stream, last we left off, we had finally wrapped our investigation into Gina's murder case, and I believe at long last we are returning to the courtroom after, what, a month and a half of being out of it? So, without further ado, yes. When I woke the following morning, Suzato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. All 2 of them. "9:30? That's a whole hour later than when I had to go to court." "Good morning, Gina. Please don't say much. I can't stand trying to do your Cockney accent." Alright, so good so far. "I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it." "So where is your friend then?" "Sorry? Also, damn it. You know, her in the fancy dress." Suzart? Where the hell did you get that R? Give that R back, it's not yours. Or however you say it, I don't know. Ah, Miss Suzato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You alright with that, are ya? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off. Her ship's gone already. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's not as though Miss Suzato and I won't meet again one day. Oh, that's foreboding. Even so. But you, Gina. You only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Unless there's a mistrial, but this is Ace Attorney. When's that gonna happen? Ooh, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and guess. Good morning, you two! Damn it! I always guess wrong! But she brought the cat, so it's better. How you feeling, Jenny? Did you manage to sleep? And if you had just watched Jellopocalypse stream, I'm sure that was very shocking to hear. Again, I do not speak for Wagahai. Wagahai speaks for itself. Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Ah, Wiggy! Waggy! Great way to show your support, kitty. Them avenues around. What I'm gonna do? Oh, that reminds me, I brought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Runo? Ginny? Ginny? I know, I thought it was going to be Herlock too, but I guess that's going to be our surprise reveal in the middle of the case. Oh, well, I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Let me guess, the Reaper's back. No, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. You think she's gonna pull out a gun and shoot me after she gives me the news? Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright, then I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? The bad news was a weather report? So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon. So even if the train is delayed, it should still be able to make it up to the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? I couldn't give a monkey's, really. If only all good news canceled out the bad. And look, this trial has made the headlines too! Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder, see? How do you like that? We let them say what they want. I see if I care. I can't because you're covering your face. Don't worry, Nuno will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will? And then in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be... Discharged diver as dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Runo? Oh, yes, let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. Oh, sorry, I probably read that wrong. It's like she's still here. Wait, why is the paper in the court record? What's this case gonna do? Good luck then, Runo. I'll do what I can. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and beat you to the punch. Take a look at that newspaper. There's a sensational story loaded down the front page as well. Look! Ministry Mo classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. For a 10-year-old, Ira certainly has her finger on the pulse of the world news. She's reading the paper. She just had... It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently, they've been intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted? But how would somebody be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Runo? No, of course not. I wonder, perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could be. It could explain why he has Greggsy running from pillar to post at the moment. Is it just a repeat of what we already heard about the pawnbroker headline? Pawnbroker perishes for pick and pick hell pip 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 cheerio. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. How awful for Jenny, I mean. But tomorrow's headline will be Discharged Diver's Dauntless Do-Gooder, right? Yes, something like that. If possible, I like to go even bigger. Bigger? How? Proud pickpocket protects planet post-trial, perhaps. Protects planet? Oh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great. I'm not. Welcome to Tiny Train World. I'm just not. People would call and think I'd having a stroke. Good luck then, Runo. I'll do what I can. Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I can kill the jury. I'll be on your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but point it away from me. Thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Jenny? Well, I was wondering is all about Sean's. they fix him up all right?
Yes, the operation was a great success, but Early still hasn't come around yet.
Eh?
I asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up.
I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No Susato-san and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today, to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense. The trial is about to begin. Harumph, please make your way to the courtroom. I always wonder, why are the scales in here? Like, yeah, scales of justice, nice metaphor, but you clearly just have them here to, like, weigh something. What are you trying to weigh, bailiff?
It's time then.
Yes, let's go. Gina, Iris.
Lead the way, Runo!
Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from the start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. Sure, Ryunosuke. Sure.
Come on, look at me! Look at me, Kazuma! Don't just show me your headband fluttering gracefully in the wind.
If I learn anything from my great friend, it's that. Always look into the wind. The judge's sign is Libra.
What the? Hey! 3 of you know me! Get the fuck out!
Oh, hold on, I have to do my Santa voice.
Oh, CM Sully, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Congrats on the new job!
Ho, ho, ho. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Sorry, I thought there was going to be a reaction there. We did not know that frickin' Dracula was going to be back. Lord Van Zykes. My lord. Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly. Here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware to have led to this erratic behavior? Heaven forbid that there's erratic behavior in this courtroom. In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are 2 types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind the mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large.
He means Martha McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago.
Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Agnes McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I would have never have defended him. I would have immediately got back on my steamship and take the 40-day journey back to Japan. And secondly, even more loathsome, poor people! I'm sorry, I'm putting words in your mouth. You were saying? Those vilest scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East. Oh shit!
Oh shit, he just masked off. The Nipponese. What? Did he really just say that? He means you now, Runo. Thank you, Iris. What would I do without you? I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? A torrid look of hatred in Lord Von Zyke's eyes. Was that directly solely at me? Or was he talking about all Japanese people? I mean, if that was the case, why... An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Dykes. I love it! Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all of London's malefactors. Yeah, no, the fact that he just went straight racist makes my poor comment seem light. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Apparently, London only has about 20 people on the jury pool. Okay. We have the landlord from the last case, the maid from the 3rd case, new guy, old guy, but he got his doctorate, the librarian again. Ooh, I can't wait to whip out her voice. And Rasputin. Also, clearly the agent that was seen in the newspaper in the 2nd case. Yeah, no, it's the freaking Russian terrorist. Alright, well, I mean, I've said my piece about the mistrial of a jury this is, but... Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant? Okay, hold on. Moon! Former lieutenant of the British Army here, don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready! Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Oh my god, he's wearing a stereoscope. Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it. I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I? Wait, is this the doctor that was operating on Sholmes? God, oh, god damn it. Could I have? So now she's no longer a librarian, she's a telegraph operator. Okay, hold on. Woman voice! Woman voice! Women indispensable in society! Stop! Female-centric future awaits! Stop! Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Okay, if that... Obviously, he's reading from a translation book, but if that's the case, you're not even a citizen of this country. You don't qualify as a juror. Is something wrong, Runo? Don't even get me fucking started, Iris. Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. Okay, wait a minute. So where's the stereo... Then have we seen the stereoscopic guy before? Stereoscopic? Stereoscope. Is he just the hat guy? No, doesn't look nearly weird enough. I'm pretty sure juror number 3 is new. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? Don't get me started! But it is quite strange the jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants. Liar. So I've been led to believe. Something tells me I'm being duped. Very well. Now, Lord Van Zykes, The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case.
As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windebank. And now that I've already been told what the pun is, I can't get it on my head. Proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. And as someone told me in the comments before, the only way to die instantly is to be shot through the head in a perfect place where it punctures several sections of the brain, including the cerebellum. So being shot in the heart still means you're going to die in minutes, but you're not going to die instantly. Probably as long as it takes for your body to be starved of oxygen and die. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. Burn mark clearly in his back. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near instant death. There you go, close enough. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. The report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. Oh. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. The burn marks on his back are gonna have to come back into this, right? It's gonna be, you thought he was shot from the front going up, but really the shot was from the back going down. Ace Detective! Or it's Magnus McGilded who completely disappeared. Who knows? I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. The vendor's room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only two persons present. The victim, Mr. Windebank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that then the accused was discovered at the scene. She had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Yeah, that's it then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Mumble, mumble, mumble. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway? Mumble, mumble, mumble. She's one of those filthy drabs that live in the slums in the East End. Mumble, mumble, mumble. I think she's guilty. Guilty as charged. Hang her now. Well, the jurors are ready for it. The girl's guilty as hell. There we go. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt just because of what she has to do to survive. My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Oh, here's that theme again. Ah, damn, the soundtrack's a banger! Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. There were witnesses in a locked room with only two people being found there. You're gonna present to me the two people that actually committed the crime, aren't you?
Good gracious! After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pick-purse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zykes. At once, my lord. I want to look at that gun. Show me that gun. I want to see that gun right now. This isn't good. I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Ryuno. I think it's because it has. Cape off! Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Vinderbank on 16th April of this year. God damn, you hate him for his racist ass, but you love him for his sense of flair. Gregsy, get the fuck off the bench! You weren't there! Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Oh God. What the hell voice am I gonna give this guy? I'm stuck. I don't know what to give him. No, I want to do something deep, but also immediately stupid sounding. Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is baddie. Professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation's, same as him.
Tobias Quinson, Scotland Yard Inspector.
I already forgot the voice I gave to the big one. I remember the short one. That's right. That's what they call the three Skulkin brothers. What? What a twist.
What are you looking at me like that for? Don't lump me in with you lot.
Core blimey, that's code. Don't you know what we're going through? It's our other bruv. Last contact with him we have. We're scouring every shady corner of the capital. And last night we came across you. A very spit of the old bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo? It is, Nash, it is. Every very spit of him. So we decided, and then that's what we're gonna do. What we was gonna call you. Oh no, the teeth. Big bruv Sulky. Ace Attorney's answer to the Schuyler sisters. I'm looking for a mind at work.
Come on, leave it out, you two.
Sulky, Skulkin? And that's before he's run out of chips. Well then, Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson.
Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias.
I know what I said, bitch. What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you're doing in the witness stand. The Sulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Thieves, are they? These three? Just as a fucking moron.
No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with this lot.
2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with the intent to burgle. So, okay, hold on. I'll actually pause it here for a little bit of lawyer facts. So, burglary in the modern sense is actually entering a you're essentially... I hate using the word essentially when I'm trying to define something legal because it has to be precise. If you enter a premises with the intent to commit a felony, that's a burglary. It doesn't have to be theft. It has to be with an intent to commit a felony. So if you enter the premises and you don't even do anything, but they can prove that you intended to commit a crime, they can get you with burglary. That's why you have breaking and entering and burglary as two separate crimes. Because breaking and entering by itself is, of course, still a crime, but if you go in there and intend to do something that is a felony, that's when you get hit with the stronger burglary charge, instead of just breaking and entering. There, I've satisfied my obligation to teach you something legal related on an Ace Attorney stream. There you go. Now, of course, when we go back to Victorian-era London, burgle could just be entering a property and stealing from it. That's where the gray area is. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. Actually, I may, depending on where the facts of the case go, I may actually also touch on the felony murder rule, which is delightfully controversial.
By Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence!
Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder.
Order! Order!
The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, but we will not judge them as poorly as we have judged the accused because they are confirmed criminals. Though they will naturally face trial in the very near future.
With your lordship's permission, I like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow.
Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question, and what exactly you saw.
Happy to. 'Cause a skulkin's never skulkin'.
Get out of it!
Illegal entry. Now, someone was actually telling me that I can't actually backtrack during cross-examination, but I'm not pressing the right key, so I may fool around with that during their cross-examination.
We was skulking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gaff's door was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign begging for us to go in, it was. But once we got inside, Cor blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. We never done nothing, Governor. We just looked left. We never took nothing. We left after that, nice and quiet.
Jeez, I'm trying to find the first guy's accents like I'm trying to find Gina. Yeah, no, that's a lot of W's. I don't think I can take it. Especially since I've already... they're taking all the W's that I've taken away from Van Zykes. Another educational question. Are the testimony of criminals like this considered reliable? So, the thing about witnesses is that it is up to the jury to assign how much weight they want to give testimony from people like this. You can have confirmed criminals take the stand. You can even point out that they are getting a lighter sentence because they have made a deal in exchange for this testimony. That ultimately is stuff you're putting in front of the jury to decide how much they're going to trust that witness's statement. So, if the question is this even allowed? Yes. But the counterpoint is, if you told the jury all this stuff, the jury would probably ultimately assign little weight to the witnesses' statements. Which is good on appeal, because if the court essentially just finds out that the jury just doesn't take the witnesses as credible, they can say that there wasn't enough evidence to confirm the conviction. I mean, yes, and then there's all the problems with this jury, but the question was specifically related to the witnesses, not the witnesses in the context of this trial. There. I'm spinning facts, making up for the fact that I had like 4 streams where I couldn't say anything about the law.
A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the vein shop was indeed locked from the inside. And within, only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel?
Yes. What's the matter, Ryuno? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. Now I get to keep going. So, on top of the law, of course, governing, the law and the rules of civil procedure, or criminal procedure in this case, governing what happens in the courtroom, there's also, of course, the code of ethics, or ethical responsibility on each, code of professional responsibility on each attorney that has a current license. One of the rules it's hard, so the thing is, there is an American Bar Association kind of model code of professional conduct. Each individual state in the United States has their own code of professional conduct for their attorneys. A lot of it is copied from the American Bar Association, but it's not 100% each time, because it's essentially each state bar determining what ethical standard to hold themselves to. But at least in Texas, there is a requirement that an attorney that would serve as a witness to an event not serve as an attorney to either party. The fact that Ryunosuke witnessed the crime, or at least witnessed as much as the prosecution witnesses, would, at least in my opinion, ethically disqualify him from being the defense attorney in this case. So, that's legal opinion number 3. How do defense attorneys get paid? If they are public defenders, they are paid by the state. They are paid a set amount. I'm not sure if there's probably not a difference between achieving a not guilty verdict and a guilty verdict. They are essentially just state agents. But the problem is that in a lot of places, there aren't enough of them for all the cases where they are required to be a representative for someone. Mainly in larger cities where, of course, you probably have a lot more accused than you have public defenders. So there is a problem where a public defender may only have so much time to look at your case and give you the kind of standard expected defense. Does law school teach you general law or state-specific law? It depends. Most of the time, they try to give you general law because the law school doesn't want to crib you into becoming an attorney for the state you studied in. There are, of course, it's a lot like college, where you have mandatory classes and then you have electives. The mandatory classes require you to get to the degree, and then the electives being just take enough classes in something, get a passing grade, and you will have fulfilled your requirement. So There are smaller classes that focus on the law of your state, but most of the general ones that you would need to get for your JD are general, here's common practices, here's federal law, here's something you could probably take to any state in the union and not be wrong about. For example, at SMU, the law school I went to, the SMU Dedman School of Law, they really want you to know the name specific. They have an oil and gas class that's specific to Texas law, because so much of what's going on in Texas is oil and gas related, and it's even a question on the state bar exam. But anyone who's like, I'm only in Texas to get the degree, they wouldn't take the class. Like someone from Connecticut who's going to go back to Connecticut and practice law, and for some odd reason is in Texas, isn't going to take the oil and gas class. Is it unfair that prosecutor has more time to prepare their case than a defense lawyer? Yeah. In most cases, it's a problem. And unfortunately, it's somewhat of a political problem, because you have to, for every public defender you hire and pay, that's on the county's dime, or the state's dime in a larger sense. So a taxpayer is footing the bill to make sure someone who may have committed a crime gets a legal defense. So if you want to make the job more attractive, you ultimately have to get more money. But there is an appeal a person who loses their trial can take, where they say, I did not have proper representation. You gave me a defense lawyer as constitutionally required, but that guy had 40 minutes to look at my case and told me to take a plea deal. Why is Tyler, Texas? I'd like to, sorry for everyone who's just wondering why we're looking at Iris for so long, but I do like answering some of these questions. Equus first, I'll answer your question, and then I'll keep going into the cross-examination. Why is Tyler, Texas such a copyright place? So, the federal system of courts appropriates at least one district court to every state in the union. And then those district courts go into 11 circuit courts, courts of appeal, and then ultimately to the United States Supreme Court. In Texas, because it's a big state with a lot of people, it has 4 districts: the Northern, Southern, Western, and Eastern District of Texas. Tyler, Texas is in the Eastern District, and kind of a chicken and the egg situation. A lot of patent cases, a lot of intellectual property cases have been tried in the Eastern District of Texas, which means now the judges in that district have a higher, at least it's expected, a higher level of proficiency in understanding intellectual property, namely patent cases. And Tyler, Texas is one of the seats for the Eastern District. So companies like having headquarters, or at least places of business in the Eastern District of Texas, so that if they get sued or sue someone else, they can put their case in the Eastern District of Texas, where their outcome is at least a bit more predictable, because the judges, on the whole, better understand the law in that area. It's like how most of the larger corporations in the United States have headquarters in Delaware, so they can take advantage of Delaware's business law, and the fact that they have specific courts that handle business law cases, the chancery courts. That was refreshing. Anyway, I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. Illegal entry. Let's go ahead and just start pressing all of these. The front door of Windibanks was ajar, you say? What time of night was this? Must have been about 1, right, Ringo? Oh, wait, that's Iris. Yeah, I say so. Right, Sulky?
How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town.
Well, we was pitch black inside. Was it true? Ain't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside.
What about you, Sulky, me old mucker?
Leave me alone.
There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And then these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained at the unfortunate victim.
Objection!
That is pure conjecture. Perhaps. But it changes nothing. Fuck you, Van Zykes. Fuck you. Fuck you and the spike you came in on. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder. Simply because they found the door to the victim's establishment open and ventured inside.
Right, that's what happened.
Could this be leading the witness? It is definitely not appropriate for the prosecution to make factual assertions as if it was a witness. But leading is mainly reserved for when you frame a question in a way that has one specific that would lead to one specific answer. It's really hard for me to come up with an example off the top of my head. I don't think I'm the best at it. But it's something like... I guess the best way to frame it would be, essentially, you make a statement, but you phrase it as a question, where the witness would probably just say, yeah, no, what he said. Like, it's obvious you would lock the door after leaving the office, wouldn't you? Of course, that goes into providing habitual evidence, which, again, makes it more complicated, but that's essentially what I'm trying to say. Isn't it true you shot her? That's pretty good, Equisworth, actually. What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go, you had to go in?
Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say. Don't they, Ringo? They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon.
God's will often presents itself as the will of thieves, does it? Wow, wait, shit. No, go back. Go back. Damn it. I wanted to screen cap that. That was Twitter fodder. Damn.
It weren't, Nash, it weren't, like we said at the time. You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it. It was a sign from a long-lost brother was inside. They're not very good liars, are they? Well, you can't deny it. It led us to a bloke what looked just like our bruh. Kill me. I said cut it out.
Those chips are getting chomping today. A gunshot, you say? Just the one. Are you sure about that?
Yep, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that. It was Nash, it was. Ain't that right, bruv? The firearm used to belong to the victim himself.
Sorry, I was looking at something. Yes, Mr. Winterbank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter. Right, I remember.
When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds.
That makes sense. Mr. Windibanks always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded so he could take his own life. Oh man, I do not want to take credit for it, so I will say I found it in the comments. I wish I could remember their name, but someone left a great one when we were talking to Windibank the first time, where you had the JoJo character come in and say, I have enough bullets in this gun to kill all of you. Mr. Windibank counters with, I have enough bullets in this gun to kill myself. That's true, I remember him saying that as well.
So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon.
Yes, my lord, we can.
Okay, then how did Sherlock get shot? I'm sorry, Herlock. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused.
Wonderful. Hey! Okay, so the back button was what I was looking for. Okay, I need to go back to scan their testimony. Hold it! I did it. Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom?
If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that of the storeroom. Of course, there was only a single lamp burning, not much to see by. And no what's hidden in by a curtain and all.
That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door?
Eh?
Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I would think.
Oh, well, your turn to ribbit, Ringo. Well, Nash,
No.
well, Nash,
Why is it suddenly like I'm trying to do Gregson? He really is their brother!
well, Nash, yeah. I suppose, you have to say we ain't normal, eh?
Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help.
These guys are not the courageous sort.
The gentlemen are of the latter implication. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is of the former.
Alright, somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night.
Thank you, counsels.
So I believe we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses.
You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story?
Well, it was bedlam as soon as, weren't it?
I don't know why, but these guys' voices just are not sticking with me.
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull my dukes out of Lady Lockets.
So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left, nice and quietly, you say?
That's right, Governor. Nothing we hate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers. We are not bloogers. We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out of me Lady Lockets.
So you clearly like us to believe.
Eh, come again?
As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person?
Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say?
Oh my, look at that mouth.
Blimey, governor! You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway?
It was. I'm immediately disqualified as an attorney in this case.
Why the bleeding Nora? Didn't you mention that before?
You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes. They shot the great Mr. Sholmes. I did hear about that, actually. Oh, he is standing on the box. The great Sholmes, that's beyond the pale. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And then they searched. A firearm was indeed— What the fuck? What the fuck? They have a gun, Van Zykes. That's clearly exculpatory evidence. Oh, I'm on my shit now. I'm on it. I'm pissed. You kept this from me? I had to press every single goddamn statement to get you to say, oh yeah, by the way, they had a gun. Fuck you, Van Zykes. Fuck you. You racist asshole. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot. Okay. If I'm gonna keep doing this, I need another drink of water. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back in like a minute. Enjoy the music, because I just can't take it. Sorry, I'm back. It took a while to get that water. I had to get plenty of ice for it, too. Ugh. I wish Quinn had a face cam right now so we could see him come back with a box of wine. No, whatever I have has to fit in a Route 44 Sonic cup. As TFS at the table has made clear. Oh, I had to run it back up the stairs. Out of breath. Anyway, yeah. It's like sucks. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. You know, this reminds me of a movie. What was it called? It was about 5 men in the United Kingdom falsely accused of murdering several people. There was actually an alibi given by another witness that the prosecution hid. And this, at the point I saw it, the case was on appeal. Anyway, it's from a movie I don't remember. I don't remember the characters, but it involved the woman saying, yeah, so why wasn't this shown to the defense? In front of a massive audience. Gasp galore. Truly a legal drama.
Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes? Here's to you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. This is the angriest I've been playing this game. It's laughably frustrating to have you go, oh, by the way, there was another scene, here it is. You have to say why it was discharged at the scene. I go, there was a whole nother person who was fucking shot.
Objection.
Well, I don't need evidence. Because I was there.
Objection.
Oh my god.
However, the rest of us in this courtroom will not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on.
Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windibanks that night?
The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. Even ones whipped out right here on the stand.
Alright, what do we have that shows about... Do we have anything that talks about Shom? We have the blood samples. Is that what we're looking for here? Nothing else would talk about Shoms. So I guess that's the closest thing we got. But first, actually, I want to take a look at this. It's a nice looking gun, all things considered. Sorry, I also got some food. So there's any oh my gosh, ammunition still loaded in 5 of this revolver's 6 cylinders.
Yes, which tells us that only a single shot has been fired from it.
Exactly.
The bullet that hit early, in fact, isn't it?
Yes, it happened almost as soon as we'd walked in through Windibank's door.
I'll make those brothers pay.
She pulls out the rocket launcher.
Fire!
Anything else? Is it all just the same thing? It's all around the cylinder, so I would assume so. This is Mr. Windibank's gun. The cylinder is completely empty.
Mr. Windibank always used to keep his gun up to hand on his shop counter.
Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand.
That's right, to keep all the pawned articles that were in his care safe from himself.
This is very unsafe gun handling. But his one bullet was fired that night, and the poor man lost his life. Just as he intended. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe? I just wonder. Anything else? Doesn't look like it. Unless this is 2 separate things. I don't think so. Alright, enough faffing about. I'm pretty sure this is what I need.
Take that!
The evidence is in this portfolio. What on earth do you have there, Counsel? During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains.
Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do? How arrogantly Nipponese of you.
Fuck off. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio.
And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein?
Yes, my lord.
No more dallying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves that these witnesses unloaded the firearm at the scene?
Okay, yes, we have Mr. Windibanks, we have Thrice-Fired Mason, it's this one.
Take that!
What is that? Explain! 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 Explain!
Sorry, got a little Dalek. It's a photographic print taken at Windibank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident.
On the scene of the crime, is it?
I'd hate to actually diminish my audience right now, but I would be remiss to mention that actually the newest episode of Hiffle, Home for Infinite Losers, was just put up on our main channel.
Sorry, I probably should have mentioned that when I went to go get a drink. That way you guys had something to do in the meantime.
Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there.
Yes, as your lordship noticed. The bullet pierced Mr. Winterbank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight. But this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun at the pawnbrokers that night. Nah.
Order! How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zykes?
Throw it. Throw it at that lamp.
If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection.
What? There we go.
But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes.
How many hollowed chalices does he have? Has anyone kept track? I feel like we're at number 9.
Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbroker illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street.
Take it easy there, Governor. You gotta land us in the soup.
We had a deal. You weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Sulky. Set the bloke straight.
I have nothing to add.
So he knew, did he? Van Zykes knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes.
It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact.
That the gun fired was not the gun that took out Mr. Winterbank. Ha ha ha.
To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zykes? As had been established at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brothers' gun.
Why do I feel like if I had brought up Winterbank's gunshot wound and said, hey, look, there it is, they're gonna go, well, that was clearly the gun that Gina fired, you idiot! Ding! So I just can't win.
However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of a proprietor and victim. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Winterbank at all. So that's it.
Wow.
That's it! We didn't have nothing to do with it! We didn't, Ash, we didn't! That's what I reckon.
No crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget attempted murder.
What a catalog, eh, fellas? Eh? We're in for it now, bruv.
Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He has now been killed. It would seem a man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly.
Where's he going with this?
Mr. Holmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric says who?
Not me. Don't give me that look. Don't.
He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh! That's one of Early's red-handed recorders!
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption.
As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device.
Every half hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. Wait, the photo moved. Also, what's with the creepy doll? The doll did it!
As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion.
Rather prodigal, I feel.
In fact, there are two such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here.
If you say these cameras produce a print every half hour, I'm afraid I'd fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals.
One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera.
Yeah, it's a bit of Friar Tuck, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves a skulking.
Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin?
Must have been after 1. Right, bruv? Must have been, Nash, must have been. Yeah, just gone 1.
In which case, minutes before the brothers entered the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence.
Well, that's not a good shot of you, Gina, I just have to say. Also, again, withholding evidence, prosecution. I'm surprised Scotland Yard even had any idea to look at those cameras.
Good lord! It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade!
As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter, no doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom.
Quite! One can only see two... oh boy, there's the stroke. One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel.
I don't believe it, Ginny.
In short, the accused is the only person who could have possibly killed Mr. Vindebank. Ah! I don't see her taking a shot. I only see her holding a gun. In fact, holding a gun away from Windebank. But that's just my theory. In a game. Who is this? Is this finally Sholmes? Has Sholmes showed up? Do we want to guess? Anyone have any thoughts about who this might be? Going once. Going twice. The Queen? I feel like she'd be a juror by now. You know what? I'm going to throw out and say this is very compelling evidence. It's probably the jury's time to jump to conclusions. So I'm going to go with Mr. Moon.
I say, my lord.
Hey, guessed right.
Wonder if I might put in a word at this point.
Go ahead, Mr. Foreman.
Took a bally bullet to the knee at the Battle of Midward, 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, the medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield.
Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point?
Carried on the battle after retirement, you see. A battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. And we're all good, and we'll all go down together. You mark my words. One for all, and all for one.
The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we ought to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct?
In a matter of speaking, yes. This is the guaranteed squadron's position, sir. What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here. Status report for the court, men. On the double.
His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions, too.
I think you'll find the truth is as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it. I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. In all honesty, I can't actually remember. Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth is now undeniable. Stop.
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning on the matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
What the? The doctor face palmed it. You know, that's kind of unsatisfying. To have that great pluming noise and then just have the clank of the gavel. Game has bad sound design. 0 out of 10. It does appear, and does indeed appear, that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already. That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Ginny didn't shoot him.
No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. Very well, the court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising.
We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready?
Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
The jurors' contentions.
All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketantini.
I have no idea how to pronounce that. As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated.
I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out.
If I left it in there, I should think that there will be repercussions by now.
Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow. Stop.
In Motherland, we never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent.
Okay, one of you clearly has a czar to overthrow, so leave. And mistrial.
The circumstance of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively.
Even though the jury, like, seriously, 1, 2, at least 3 of them did not even talk about the evidence of the case. The housemaid didn't care. Juror number 3 clearly only cares about... No, juror number 3 commented on the photographs. I would say that still counts. But the doctor's still distracted. And the Russian guy only cares about the brothers, not about the actual guilt of Ginny. Ginny.
Well, anyway, the storeroom locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. And in the accused's hand, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses.
Not to mention this print. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the bally trigger.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh dear, Early's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder.
I'm afraid I think you have the uphill struggle ahead of you.
Well, thanks for everyone having a comment on the jury's behalf before I even able to talk to them. Fuck all of you. Y'all suck. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winterbank. Which means there's more to the situation that we've yet to see.
Agreed.
You have the floor, counsel, despite the fact that we've just dirtied it up for you. Proceed with the summation examination.
Ace Attorney!
The defense's rebuttal. You're the one who... That doesn't make any sense. What? Polishing the bench, I see. Again. A maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpurses, and crossmen, the scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps? Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span, or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes. That's right, I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rant's magazine and in between my duties. He does wonders, cleaning up London streets. Honestly, we should just kill all poor people. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes? A maid? It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum had the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Then why did you vote guilty on Gina? Minor detail, it was the two brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed. They're all gutters gun as far as I'm concerned. Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway. Yes, alright. I shall amend my statement. Those brothers are the scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the great detective. Again, the brothers aren't on trial here. But thank you for saying that, because now I know to do this. Not that. Freaking keyboard. This. Yeah, you go against you.
Objection.
Now fight each other for my amusement. Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good lord! Counsel, explain yourself.
Oh my statement contradictory? C-O-N. Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick.
I do not have stick. I have mouse.
Yes, you do. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene of the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Holmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear. Abdomen. A-B-D. Sir?
Sorry. My English is still learning.
You are telling the court you didn't hear?
Forgive me, I did not hear.
Yeah, also, another qualification to be a juror, you have to at least understand English. So, which in Texas is kind of a problem. Oh, Balthazar the 13th. Thank you for the Prime sub. 2-month resub. Longtime fan, recent subscriber. Thanks for everything you do. Well, thank you for the sub. Ugh. So, actually, small aside, it is kind of amusing. The requirement in Texas, at least Dallas, Texas, is that you have to be able to both understand and read English. Every single time I've been called in as a juror, which hasn't been a lot, but it has happened, there has always been at least someone that gets all the way to the courtroom, so they're being selected to be a jury of a single trial, that says, I can't be a juror for this case. I can't read English. But the problem is, you have to at least fill out 2 different forms and understand directions to get to the courtroom where they're selecting you. So, I would posit that I think whoever gets that point then hears the understands English and goes, oh, I know how I can get out of jury duty. I don't understand English. Or I can't read. Is it possible that they are honest people who cannot read English? It's possible. But I'm just saying, of all the steps you have to get through to get to that point where you can just stand up in court and declare, I can't read English, you've had to have read some English to get there. Can you be a juror if you're an exiled political refugee? You have to be the citizen of the country you're being a juror in, so no.
Ah, here is word. Abdomen, part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. This is what you mean? Well, you should say plain English. I'm Russian, not native speaker.
Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again?
So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before, we never done nothing. The truth is, they shot detective. Da. And this is double negative.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Lying is wrong! Especially when there's lies said by a person who looks like criminal!
Coming from you, that seems oddly prejudiced. Surprisingly prejudiced. This means,
when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true?
Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so...
Enough! I trust no one now!
That poor mouse.
It's not the mouse's fault, though, sir. I must see with own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself.
Illegal for jurors to do.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Yes, it is, Ryuno, easily.
Sorry?
With the prints from Early's red-handed recorder. If you compare the print that pictures Jenny and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cool it, Mr. Prosecutor! Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight. So this was taken after... Oh! So this was taken after Early was shot then. As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that is obviously missing in the second print. So, the brothers who looked like criminals told only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Despite the fact that, like, half the shop is out of the photo. Good. No, not good. You were right, I did not understood situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I still think it was very important to continue the trial.
Yay, we got one. Yay, and it's the Russian.
Yay, well done, Ryuno. The balance is shifting.
Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. If I can do that, we might turn this. We just might turn the situation into our favor still. Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence. Yay! Which means it'll be important later. Another print in the court record. I don't know if we can make use of that. Oh! Okay. We have two photographs of an identical situation aside from the two figures in the photo. I wonder, is this leading to a stereoscope? Okay. Your mind's made up, but you didn't say why. But also we have you, who haven't said a damn thing about the case, so press.
Hold it!
What exactly have you been muttering about this whole time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere or something like that.
So sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon.
A surgeon? That totally passed me by. Really? You? With your powers of observation? Oh boy. We're screwed.
Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors. Oh no! Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field.
So what is it that you think you've left behind?
Well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing. Went in through the abdomen. But when I finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere.
What? Did he? Surely not.
Exactly. Surely not, you say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. I really left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really.
That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter.
That's exactly my concern. And seeing that this case appears to be all but sewn up,
I need to focus on trying to remember exactly where I've sewn up elsewhere. No, I'm sure I made everything I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, I'm sure you can be without being sure.
I'm sure you need to be more sure. Well, that didn't seem to go anywhere. I guess for now we're just pressing everybody, starting with you. Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean?
Are you from the Far East? Stop!
Yes, from the Empire of Japan.
All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than enough to complete the journey.
Ah, but now we have the electric telegram. We can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world. And then we learned the Carrington event can make the sun destroy all electronics.
Thousands of miles of cable? On the ocean bed? Makes my head hurt just thinking about it.
You are well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop.
And just when I was starting to catch up.
Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airways to four corners of the globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop.
Right. Try not to wear out your fingers.
Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What other piffle?
Do you have anything to say about that? I'm not getting a signal, so no.
I can't understand it. I really can't.
Ah, there we go. Now he's mad. Look at that face. He's mad.
Excuse me.
Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What?! Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I could guess.
Oh, you bet I do! Say that again! Go on! I dare you!
That's right, if you fight, I can declare a mistrial.
Goodness, are you talking to me?
I think he just might be, yes.
You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you, huh? Absolutely, I mean, really! A machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional!
What a great way to appease the man.
No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know! Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously gonna have to demonstrate.
What sort of possibilities?
Well, take the crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from the crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you'd never even noticed before.
What?
Have you got any, Ryuno? Any prints we could look at with a stereoscope?
Well, now I just happen to. How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think. Click, 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 click. Oh, I have to actually use the mouse. No, 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 no. That one. Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints?
Of course I can!
Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate.
I'd be delighted to! Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all!
Take that!
Take this!
Alright, these 2 prints were both taken at the same camera in Windibanks on the night in question.
Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how the stereoscopic images work? Do you understand the principle?
Oh, can we finally see you cross your eyes? Probably not. Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the positions of some objects.
Then when your brain merges the two images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were depth.
Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the two pictures that's really important.
So what happens if you use two photographs that are exactly the same then?
No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene three-dimensionally, anyway. Oh! Of course, now I see! I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have!
Oh my god! And... clipped. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me?
Have another look at these two pictures from Early's camera, Ryuno. Go on! Can you see that there's really one obvious difference between them?
Oh, sorry, I had to itch my eye. Yeah, the lamp broke. Of course there is. There are two people in the first and no people in the second.
Well, yes, but you can see that right away. But now, try looking at the pictures in 3 dimensions.
Right, I'll give it a go. So to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make two pictures overlap exactly. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Wait.
Well, did you manage to see it properly, Ryuno?
I mean, not the way you wanted me to, but yeah.
Ah!
What's going on with these two pictures? Some of the things on the counter they sort of jump out at you.
Oh! Oh, shit! Damn it! Damn it, game! Damn it! Fuck you! You jumped through all 3 of those people so quickly I couldn't get a snap of any of them. You bastards. Someone clip that. Quickly. Okay, the 149 mark. I'll have to remember that. Yeah, no, he has to get a stereoscope out. Can't have Van Zykes crossing his eyes. Yes, that's it, you see! That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes!
Other amazing power?
Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce do some things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that, I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of a stereoscope? As I said before, if you try to look at the 2 identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slight shift in the positions of certain objects that lets you see pictures 3-dimensionally.
In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the 2 pictures, this shows exactly there must have been a slight shift in their positions.
Yes, there must have been!
Also, bigger question, how did they all do that at once? There were only the 2 pictures.
Now, hold fire there, sir! Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does this shift between the 2 prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master! What, me? I haven't the first idea. You know, Ryuno, it's quite simple.
It is?
Just think of it through... Oh my god. I've blown it. Just think through it step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. Then, 30 minutes later,
The second photograph was taken. The position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means... That means that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Zonkas! Someone tampered? New information! Stop! Not mentioned in testimony so far! Stop! Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who's responsible for the imperceptible shifted items on the counter. Lord Strongheart! No, probably not. I wish we knew your age. Just how well you keep it together. You're dead. You're on your way to Japan. You're dying. You're with me. You're on the stand. You have no neck. Or you have no chin. You're the prosecutor. You're the older brother? You're no longer Ringo. You are now Rigby. I'm gonna blame your younger brother. Or, note how nothing changes with the name. You.
Take that!
It was the witnesses currently on the stand. The Skulkin brothers. Wait! This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lady Lockets. My phrasebook says dukes is meaning hands and Lady Lockets is meaning pockets. Don't know why they just don't say pockets, it's a shorter word. What is this? Another lie? Is this what you are saying? Yes, I'm afraid so.
Now, hold on there a minute. You can't be sure of that.
I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse after all. It's perfectly possible she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely. And why, exactly? As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. No, she wasn't. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windibank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interest lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. Of which all which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a pick purse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact worse, than a pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given by her damn it! Fuck those guys! Lord Archive, thank you for the 30-month resub.
Well said.
Yeah, no, and you also have the broken lamp, which no one is pointing out, so either it will come back or it doesn't matter. Who knows? It's Ace Attorney!
I, for one, would like to hear more from the shady pair.
Oh, he's doing it because his hands are sterile. Got it. Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand.
Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop.
Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call this summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. To lean to guilty, or lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus. I hereby order this trial to continue.
Yay, well done! Oh, by the way,
What?
you should hold on to this, Runo. I nicked it from Van Zykes, that asshole. You should never know. You never know when it might come in useful.
Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely. But alright. The stereoscope has been entered into the court record. Lord Van Zykes, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. Into the lamp. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. And... screen cap. Perfect timing, game. Right on the 2-hour mark. That's great. However, it is a special night. It's a Friday night. And on top of that, we just got Hiffle to come out. Does anyone want to see Hiffle on stream? Hiffle 3 on stream? Want to do it, guys? Alright, then you know what? Clap, clap. So, everyone watching the archive, this is about where the video is going to end. Because I would like you to go to our main channel, Team 4-Star, and watch Hiffle 3 for yourself. But, for the 100 so people in the Twitch chat, let's keep things going for just a bit longer. So, to everyone watching the archive, good night and goodbye.